folks. Hey, everybody. Let me just say, well, here, I know you can hear me, but let me get this on because I got some videos to show. All right. I doubt anybody's around. For some reason, I hate this thing. Hope that works. For some reason, I thought Turtle Boy had court today. So, I guess I can always just get messed up and never know, right? But let's see. I know that somebody out there can actually help the town of Canton. So I want to say that who can help? So I understand they can be put in receivership. Now, I do not understand what all receivership is, but what I do know is receivership has to be better than whatever the select board can do. However, you get this town out of the hands of those that are corrupt and that control everything, that do the whims of what their people want. The problem in Canton, if you watch, I mean, come on, you people cannot be blind. So go and watch the select board meetings and see how the citizens of Canton are treated. They have no voice, none, zero, zip. And when they start the meeting and they allow an entire 15 minutes of public comments, and each person is allowed only 3 minutes. And if you go over the 3 minutes, hell, they'll send your ass to jail. Okay? I mean, that's just how they are. They want you arrested. They want you thrown out because you don't agree with them. There is something wrong with this. And if people don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. But let's see. We know the FBI Special Agent Josh Levy is the head of the FBI's Boston office, and he has jurisdictions over federal investigations, including corruption cases in mass. All right. So he has that. Then we have the Mass Attorney General, Andrea Campbell. She's the top law enforcement officer in Mass and can launch investigations into public corruption and misconduct. So let me just ask you, if you're watching all of the select board meetings and you're listening to the fact that they're trying to find someone to pay to come in, hey, Dart and my, but to pay to come in and audit, then why do they have to pay someone to come in and audit when we all know they're just as dirty as dirt can be? So come on, folks. I know Josh Levy is just bombarded because, as I've said numerous times, we'll continue to say we have absolutely no idea how deep that went. Everything that dealt with Sandra Birchmore, I want to know where the other people are that were affected because we know they were. Well, hey, Dirt in My Eye, Mama Jamma and Deborah Holmes. How are y'all? I just finally have had a chance to, I can't decide whether to do pre records or lives or what. And if I'm doing a live, then I think I need to stop in the middle of everything and start again. But I'm having to learn not to do that. And, um, why do I keep doing this? Well, because I'm infuriated. I live in Texas. I can't help anybody, but maybe somebody that has a connection with somebody will say, hey, you know, Massachusetts isn't looking so hot. I mean, as if anybody needs to tell them, but apparently somebody needs to tell them because nobody's looking. If it weren't for Karen Reed's case, we wouldn't know about this. Canton citizens are able to stand up and fight now because look at them. Oh, thank you. See, that's how I just I like hanging out, but I just feel funny because I'm just all talking. Oh, thank you, Deborah. But I don't. Oh, and somebody mentioned that when I'm answering someone in my chat to mention what I'm answering. So, Mama Jamma, when she said, "I like your lives, feel like we're hanging out," that's how I feel too, and, I so enjoy it. And then Deborah said that she's from MA and she appreciates me. Dirt in my eye said, "Me too." So I was responding to all that. That was just, very nice things to say. So I don't know what yes, you are talking back. I don't know what it takes. I think I need a little light. I got to get a green screen so you don't see my thing because even a new computer doesn't. Yeah, I think I can read better. Um, doesn't make it to where I see like even Turtle Boy, right? He's got that picture of the Albert's house, and sometimes he goes in and out. Well, I thought it was the computer. Long story short, my husband upgraded my computer, which was really bad ours, and I thought maybe that would solve it, but and we gave my daughter the other one because she's going to do a work from home job and she needs a good computer for that. So I thought, oh, good, now I can use my backgrounds. Well, no, it still doesn't. I think it's because it's too busy back here and my camera can't fight it or something, is what my husband found out. He goes up to work and talks to the young whippersnappers up there about his wife being a YouTuber. And then they start talking, and then he'll start telling them. I guess he's told them my subs and everything, and they're all just, "Whoa!" But, this is tell me your secret. I said, "I don't have a secret. I'm just a blooming idiot who gets up on here and gives my opinion." That's just, so it's kind of funny. So anyway, what I want to do today is I'm going to call out just near about anybody I can think of. I have a list. If I'm leaving anybody off, let me know. If I'm putting somebody on this list and it's wrong, let me know. But yeah, I'm having it. So far we've got Josh Levy, which I personally, as I stated, I mean I know that he can get involved in corruption cases. I know he's in the middle of the Sandra Birchmore, well, at the end of, I should say, and you have to figure, you have to use common sense, and you have to use what you know and what the past shows us, which is that she cannot be the only person that was victimized. There is a ring. That's what this is. Because what did they do? They protected the cop that killed her. They looked the other way. Now, I'm going to say this again. I did not understand in the beginning of everything how it was all connected. I didn't I didn't pay attention to any, and I know I repeat myself, but just in case you've never heard me, I never watched a single thing about Karen Reed prior to the trial. I During the trial never watched anyone's commentary on it, or like I did. I watched it as because I don't like to watch it on court TV and all that because the chats are mean and ugly. But I can't remember now who I watched it on. That's how fast my brain goes. But I watched the entire trial, and like many others watching the entire trial, I was and still am speechless that that ever went to court. I was and still am waiting for some concrete evidence. The stuff that they usually have against people before they take them to court, and not finding that we got any of that either. They didn't have any evidence. And I ran across something. I did a screenshot, and I'm gonna have to read it. I think it was I'm gonna have to read it. I know I did a screenshot from somewhere and it's on my phone. I'll read that in a bit. But where people were actually accusing Josh Levy, the FBI, for covering up to say Karen Reed was innocent. Okay. Now over the top. I would say that these people go over the top in their thoughts, because I'm going to tell everybody that's listening, anybody that comes across this, I can guarantee you, and I don't even know this young man, but I can guarantee you that Mr. Levy would not even consider trying to cover up a crime. And the audacity of anyone that even said that. I mean, seriously, they'll point fingers at anybody. Well, they need to stop, because eventually, well, no, just keep pointing your fingers. Y'all look like blooming idiots, is what you look like. So, hey, Miss Renee, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so, and we have, Attorney General. Come on. You can launch your own investigations. I mean, really, why do we have to sit here and watch a special committee that's chaired by the biggest asshole I've ever seen, had no respect for anybody else's opinion, no respect for females, and thought he just runs the show? And you could tell that if Bob said no, the other two, which I don't know their names, voted no. And then Bob, I mean, it's like watching children at a competition where, nah, 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 nah. That's what those grown men look like. And Bob's sitting there going, all right, let's vote. 4, 1, yes, yes. Opposed? No. And the other two follow right along, and then he goes, 3, 2. It's a grown man on a committee, and he's acting like a child. Uh, Rita Lombardi, she had to be escorted out because they didn't want her there, because, oh my God, she spoke out of turn. Well, let me ask you, when do these asses ever let the people speak? And when do they ever listen to over 3 minutes? And when do they ever answer them? When they say that we listen to you, take things into consideration, we will not comment, we will not answer. Can I just ask if it's ever addressed, and if it is, where? I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing a bunch of yahoos sitting up there saying no. And Kathleen was treated like purity garbage. I'm sorry, but if you call me Mrs. I don't know, Road Rash, and I say, no, it's Nana, then you once again say, Ms. Road Rash. Would you call that disrespect? I do, because I've told you what I want you to address me as, and once again, you address me as anything but. Wasn't she? I would not. I'll tell you what, guys. If I was at one of those meetings, y'all might as well have the bail money, because I'm going to say I'm a concerned citizen from another state visiting, and I have rights as a human being to speak and tell them they're all crazy. That'd have hauled me out. And then you'd have had to get to white jackets because I'm panic and anxiety. You put a set of cuffs on me, I'm going to go literally nuts. And then y'all get to watch that show, because somebody like Bob sitting on that chair and tell me to hush. I mean, I wanted to throw things at. I am not a violent person, and I want to throw things at these people. I want to see these people get smacked in the face with a pie, with an apple. Nothing harmful, though you can throw an apple rather hard, because they have no business on these committees. The select board has been running that town for a long time. I know they're voted in, but they're voted in by their buddies. So I don't know what it takes to get receivership. Am I saying the word right? Is it receivership? I think, because I keep forgetting the word. But yes, receiver. I've got, here it is. I wrote it down. I told y'all. So receivership. And like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but anything is better than what this town's got. So I don't know why Attorney General Andrea Campbell hasn't stepped up. I don't know why the governor hasn't stepped up. There is no reason to take 200 grand or 300 grand or 500 grand to pay someone to come in and do the job that the people that are in office could actually do. Yeah, if they're honestly forgetting a name is one thing, but he was just being an absolute arse. He you could see him like smirking. It was just all over his face as he continued to call her by her last name. It just Judge to my lawyer, hi Susan. That's funny. Hi Susan. So let's see. We have U.S. Attorney for Bass, Rachel Rollins. Man, we got a lot of women in office, folks. I would expect better. So we got Rachel Rollins oversees federal prosecutions in Mass and can investigate violations of federal laws, including corruption. Where are you? Rachel Rollins, where are you? Would you please get your people and get involved in Canton, Massachusetts? I have seen people call in on their meetings to tell them that they also live in Mass and that they are embarrassed of what they do and how they run their town. This is not normal. If it is normal, then we need you people that I've named out, except for Josh Levy, to get involved and make them understand, change the laws, because this is not how it's run in the United States of America. Now, Massachusetts is not a colony by itself. Not anymore, hadn't been for hundreds of years. But no, we're going to act like we're of the crown. We are not of the crown. I've always been obsessed with England, the UK, and I have great respect for the Queen. That does not mean I agree with how the country, their laws and everything. I don't. But I would love to go there. But you know what? You don't get to come and live in America and be raised in America and what? God save the Queen, God save the Commonwealth, God save the Crown. I mean, what is it? Y'all think y'all are above the law, and there's a major problem with that because you're not. Somebody somewhere is going to stop you. I mean, I know court TV. I know y'all just do court cases, but y'all got to have investigative reporters. Why aren't y'all asking Aiden Kearney, who has all kinds of knowledge, information, and he comes with receipts to help you? Why aren't more people putting this out there? We have not got just one YouTuber that's going to cover it, but we need everybody to start screaming from the top of your lungs. That's how I feel. Okay, that's definitely how I feel. And then look at this. Massachusetts State Police Internal Affairs. Do we have any faith in you guys? Because wouldn't you guys have been the ones to investigate the sick behavior that Proctor showed? He was a trooper. He was state police, right? So I mean, calling y'all saying state police, internal affairs. We want the internal affairs, state police investigate misconduct or collusion with local law enforcement in Canton. But you're not the ones that can do it because hell, you don't care. We have a police officer that was it Kevin Albert that got drunk, lost his badge and his gun in a police vehicle that Proctor was driving. They were both so drunk. And what did he get? He got a slap on the hand and a 3-month paid vacation. Are you people kidding me? Are you kidding me? Does anybody think this makes sense? But I don't think I think we might as well just say the state police internal affairs probably isn't worth a darn hoot. I think, nope, you gotta go higher. You gotta go higher because if they can't tell that, I mean, what was it? He was on vacation. Who was that? He was on vacation and they don't have cell service. He's not messaging his buddies. He don't see, do you buy that? Everybody nowadays when they go on vacay needs to know they got internet. I mean, heck, I'm an old I freak out when I don't have internet, okay? So, I mean, you know that if you're this evil, you got to keep checking in because there's always going to be something going on. So, I don't buy that. Then we have Governor Healy. Governor Healy can can order investigations. Governor Healy can appoint special investigators. Yeah, we investigated ourselves and find us innocent. That's right, dirt in my eye. But you know what? We did it for real. I mean, the okay, let's see. You have Senator Walter uh, Timilty, and he represents Canton in the Senate. I mean, what can we pressure him to take a stance? State Representative William Galvin. And then we have Boston Globe Spotlight. Come on, y'all have investigative journalism teams. Put them out there. You're probably afraid to put them out there because you see what's being done to Turtle Boy. Now, y'all need to get involved with Turtle Boy's trials or I don't know, court dates because this harassment Trump charge, every last one of you, if you are an investigative reporter, need to be involved. Aiden Kearney, Turtle Boy, discovered corruption, helping blow it out of the water. Come on, guys, work as a team. Work as a team. This line of who does and doesn't do. How about you combine them together? WCVB, WCVB Channel 5, NBC Boston, and Fox Boston. Come on, guys, let's hear you tell the truth of what is going on in Canton. Let's hear you tell the truth of what's happening to Karen Reed, and let's hear you tell the truth of exactly what information they do not have. If someone took the information that I read the other day that Proctor wrote to get Karen Reed arrested, I would look at them and say, it's not enough evidence. I mean, this isn't enough evidence. On top of that, you haven't even vetted any evidence. You haven't run DNA. You haven't checked this. You haven't checked that. You haven't checked this. And the biggest question that I have for every last one of you suckers, where's the picture of the taillight before the cops touched the car? I'm waiting. Oh, wait, there is none. Now, that in itself right there, that's just the biggest mockery of, you're making an absolute mockery out of our judicial system. The fact that Beverly wanted it going faster, the fact that Morrissey wanted it tried. I mean, I'm not going to forget that. Okay, I'm not going to forget because yeah, I watch a lot of true crime. I watch a lot of cop shows. I watch a lot of life going on nowadays. And when somebody wants to prove something, what is the very first thing they do? They pull out their phone. If I was a cop, it would be a lot more normal for me to do so, right? Pulling out a phone. I've Like, bless my heart, I went to see my aunt. Oh gosh, I love my aunt so much. She's the only person in my family, honestly, except my granddaddy who passed when I was 23, that, loves me and my children unconditionally. And she is a wonderful, beautiful Christian woman who doesn't boast or say, "Hey, I'm Christian," or I mean, she walks that walk. She don't have to do the talk. It's in her every day. It's just she is precious, absolutely precious. And, I hadn't seen her in 3 years, so I went down to see her, and once again, I go visit her and forget what? I forget to take a photograph. So, she's 83. I don't have a single photograph of her and I together, but I love her immensely. But I'm just saying I forget to take out my phone. But the first thing that people do um in a crime going down, in a car accident happening, anything, people got their cameras out, they're filming, they're offering up footage. Okay? So for anybody to sit on that stand and be asked, in which they need to be asked, before you ever when you pulled up, because I guess their claim is they didn't see the car, right, until they went to Karen's parents' house, at which point in time, all they had to do what they coulda asked for a leaf blower, right, to blow the snow off so they could see it. I bet you Mr. Reed had a leaf blower. I bet he'd have sure shared that, wouldn't he? Yeah, dumbasses. But all they had to do was brush off the snow and take a photograph of the obliterated taillight. See, that's the whole thing. We want to see the taillight before you crooks ever touched it. So that's why I keep saying the lack of evidence, the lack of evidence. That number one, that's common sense. Number one is common sense that you take a photograph of anything before you touch it. But I guess what you're going to say is you pulled it into the Sally port. Was that the first or second time? I guess it'd be the first time. You pulled it into the Sally port and you just demolished it to smithereens and back. And then when you backed out for whatever reason and pulled in the second time, because we know that there is an outline of that car, there's an outline of snow where that car was already in and pulled back out, because I don't think you yahoos were driving in and out at the Sallyport, were you? I mean, well, I don't know. Y'all being in Massachusetts and can't even conduct an investigation in the snow. Maybe you're too scared of the snow and you park in there. No, I don't think so. So you want us to believe that the photos that the young lady from the lab took would be the first ones with it all busted to smithereens and hell and back again, right? No, no. You should have brushed it off and taken a picture. I mean, common sense. Come on, guys. That's common sense. Yeah, Mamma Jamma, I can't get over that. And the other thing that I can't get over is Jennifer McCabe. Jennifer McCabe had if all right, let's pretend. All right. Let's pretend that we're going to do it Jennifer's way. All right. We're going to do this Jennifer McCabe's way. Let's pretend that. So, Carrie Roberts is driving the car. Jennifer McCabe's in the front seat. Karen Reed's in the back. Now, Karen Reed, she ain't having a conversation with them. She may be screaming and having absolutely dirt in my eye. They don't have any evidence. And if this new Yahoo says he can try her, he's full of crap. But Karen Reed is focused on looking for John anywhere. Her eyes are peeled and she is concentrating. That is the only thing on her mind. Carrie, she don't really think anything's wrong. So she's not really looking as hard because in all honesty, she don't think she's going to see John on the side of the road. And then you have Jen McCabe. She already knows that John is in the yard. I'm sure she knew before she left or after she got home and Googled "house long to die in cold" that they were placing him in the yard. And hell, so when John O'Keefe was discovered and we had all the, stuff going on, never once did she say that her family lived in that home behind them where he was found dead. Never once did she ask for the police to please let's go in my house and make sure that my family members that live in that house have not been killed. Because, but then you could tell that he didn't crawl out there because there was no footprints, so they said. Now, we also know that he couldn't have been out there the entire time because there's no way in hell, under those conditions, they didn't see a body in a front yard. There's no way that German Shepherd dog did not have a cow if he was in the house when the police showed up. There's no way that John O'Keefe could have been hit by Karen Reed. Okay, that's factually proven that it could not have happened. So but let's just say for shits and giggles it did. We're expected to believe that the German Shepherd residing in that house didn't alert to, "Hey guys, y'all got somebody dying in the front yard." What I don't understand is why aren't these people absolutely screaming to the hilt that the people in the house laid this man out in the snow where he died a slow, painful death. That's where my infuriation comes from because the people in the house, somebody, I'm not going to say all people in the house know. I'm not. I don't know how many know. I don't know how many don't know. What I do know is Karen Reed didn't hit him with his car. So knowing Karen Reed didn't hit him with her car, what happened? What happened? What else where else would you turn and look? Come on. And I know that I'm just a nana. I know that I'm just somebody who's lived life and uses common sense. I know that I don't have all this expert training as these imbeciles who work for the Canton PD or state troopers that recuse themselves of, but only of investigating, only of interviewing. I'm sorry. That's the only thing they needed to recuse themselves from interviews. I guess because they would tend to believe liars. Is that why? I don't know. But when they got to Karen Reed's dad's house, the very first thing should have been done is a picture of the car. Very first thing that should have been done. Because why? Because you want to preserve it. No, y'all didn't take pictures of that taillight until after you demolished it. Why? Why can I say that? Why am I saying that? Well, I guess I'm saying that because that's what the proof shows to me. Because you didn't have it before. So that's what your proof shows to me. So, come on. We need some publicity out there. The Boston Globe Spotlight Team. How about y'all expose corruption and scandals? How about y'all get on board with the corruption in Canton? How about y'all get on board with the fact that Karen Reed is factually innocent. If you don't want to do anything else, at least that. I know for a fact that when a police officer is killed, I can give you my take, right? I have a very difficult time nowadays understanding that anybody would go into a church with a gun to shoot someone. I just think that's sacred ground. No matter what church, no matter what belief, to me, that's just a sacred, safe place. So, with that said, if you're going to kill a law enforcement officer who is willing to lay his life on the line every single day and they happen to die or get killed, then I feel the exact same, almost the exact same way. It's up there that high in my values of what's happened. And if you had concrete proof against someone who actually killed the police officer, which many cases we have had absolute proof, then yeah, it's going to be the most hated um, person on the stand. Could be hated by the judge, could be hated by the prosecution. Hell, he's probably even hated by his own defense because you just don't do that. And if you kill a brother in blue, your days in daylight should be done. You should be finished. You should be through. But you damn well need to be arresting the right person. And you need to have concrete evidence. No, dirt my Jen didn't tell 911 he was a cop. Jen didn't tell 911 that her family lived in the house that she was standing behind and that there was somebody there that knew CPR, that knew how to work. She didn't say a word, did she? I mean, it was, I don't know which one said, and finally she said his name, didn't she? But she never said he was a cop, I don't believe. And what was it? There was something else that she said that was just, she was telling him, "I think he's dead. I think he's dead. I think it's too late." But that was kind of in a whisper. "I think he's dead." No, you hope so. She hoped he was. She'd sit on that stand all day long and say otherwise. But yeah, because whatever it was that would come out if he wasn't dead was going to be bad news for the McAlberts. So there we go. So we've, WCVB Channel 5, NBC Boston, and Fox Boston. Come on, let's amplify it. Let's get the truth out there. Massachusetts Office of the Inspector General tasked. Now wait a minute. The Inspector General, is that the same place that that McAlbert girl worked? Mamma Jamma, I've heard that the tow truck driver saw the tail light, and I don't know why he wasn't called. But they put a police officer on there that I don't know why they didn't just hammer in more questions because he flat out said it was cracked. It's not what they're trying to make it out to be. Remember? It was cracked. It's nothing like they're saying. Wasn't that kind of his comment? Yeah, it had a crack in it. No big deal. I don't know. I guarantee you what, they take Karen Reed back to court, Jackson and Yannetti, there's not gonna be nothing they don't put out there. And their trial might take longer, but I hope that they shut up Lally from, he made it the most confusing thing. Nobody ever got a fact out of his mouth. Did anybody ever walk away with a single fact that you felt was true fact from anything Lally said? Could you even track him? I mean, he would lose me. So I just figured that the people sitting in the jury seat, they didn't pick up anything he was tossing out either because for one, none of it made sense what he said, what was coming out of his mouth. I mean, yeah, it did snow, Mamma Jamma. It snowed, and then we also got to find out whose favorite basketball players What teams did you root for? Where'd you sit on them bleachers? Who'd you sit by? Were you wearing shorts? Were you wearing long pants? Did you have a jacket? Did you leave it on or take it off because the imminent storm was coming? Was there a band? What were they playing? Can you give it to me in chronological order? Because I need to check that out and make sure it was. Could you tell me what song was being played while you were talking to Karen? Did you happen to hear that? Did you happen to notice if Karen had any inkling to dance or did she have any moves going on? I mean, I'm surprised he didn't ask that. I'm surprised he didn't ask, did you at any time get up and leave your table to go to the restroom? Did he ask Jennifer McCabe why she and was it her sister or sister-in-law? I don't know. Only two people that said Karen Reed came in the waterfall bar with a glass from McCarthy's. And it was someone connected to Jen, right? Like the how about the glass that was in the snow? What did they do with that glass? Did they dust it for fingerprints? DNA? I mean, did they do anything with that glass? Did they check the house to see if there was a match inside that house? Are we supposed to believe that John O'Keefe was drinking out of a glass that was in that house, or is that the one he carried home from Waterfall Bar? Because everybody said they saw him walk out with a glass from the Waterfall Bar. So I don't know what Karen Reed walking into the Waterfall Bar with a glass had to do with a hill of beans, but we heard that, right? We didn't. Did anybody ever ask if Karen Reed was buying any shots for anybody but herself? I don't know. The thing is, we have a Massachusetts Ethics Commission. Their job is to oversee ethical conduct among public officials, and they can investigate corruption and misconduct. So, this isn't about the Karen Reed case. It's about the people of Canton being trapped under a cloud of corruption. So, I mean, who is it? I mean, I know you're busy, FBI Special Agent Josh Levy, but maybe you can have some input to get someone to keep to get this going, somebody that'll get it rolling. Governor Maura Healy. So apparently you were appalled at at what Proctor had in his text messages. I haven't heard you say anything else. I haven't heard you answer out the call to the people in Canton that are screaming for help. They literally taped a poster at that meeting for the committee that said receivership, help us please. What more do they need to do? What more can they do? U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins, Mass General Attorney General's office. Now, I think once again, I'm going to say I think there's a McAlbert that works there. Um, the one that had to get home before the storm came. I mean, like anybody believes that story. The storm was coming in. Everyone knew the storm was coming in. Everyone knew that you were going to probably be snowed in wherever you went, right? And even her boyfriend Tristan on the stand, who wanted to just be just as obstinate and stupid as somebody with no brains between them ears because I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. No, I don't remember. I don't know. When Alan Jackson said, but it was not the plan all along to pick her up. Correct? Correct. Or yes, or whatever. Right there. I mean, what happened in that house? What happened in that house? So, Attorney General office, you need to forget the name Albert, McAlbert, McCabe's. You need to find people that have absolutely no connection. You need to take some action. Canton deserves better. Residents are crying out for justice. No one is helping them. We need the Boston Globe Spotlight team to investigate, local news stations. I mean, and they've got the perfect person to interview. They may not like Turtle Boy, but his investigative reporting has shown us this horrific injustice, and that we have a town in the United States of America where the citizens are not protected. They're not even considered important. They're just dismissed by those that think that they're, higher. The Maryland said, "Did anyone know why John left the bar with the glass? He knew he was being set up, so he took the glass to protect himself. He had no weapon. I think it was going to be jumped in the parking lot." Wow. Wow, I never thought of that. I guess that they decided not to do it there. So, does anybody else feel like I do that? Because why would the Alberts want him dead? The only thing that I can come up with, he do SEX crime investigations in the Boston field office because they wanted him to have a desk job to keep him safe. We know people were reporting Sandra Birchmore and what was going on there. We know phone calls were coming in. We know people were starting to open their mouths and get louder about that. Is there a possibility that John O'Keefe had a phone call come in? Is there a possibility that John O'Keefe then addressed the people? Oh, that's true, Dirt Ma. That may be why Jen wanted Karen to go with her. The thing I can't understand is why Jen was wanting to even be around Karen, because you can tell her absolute distaste for Karen. How Karen had to pick up on that because you you have an intuitive side of you. You can usually tell when somebody doesn't like you or want you around or thinks they're better than you, which is so funny because Karen reads better than all of them, hands down, because she's a good human being, not because she makes or made an immense amount of money, but because she's a good human being with a good heart. You can tell that by how she acts. I've watched a video over and over that just made my heart so happy that day. This little girl comes running up to Karen Reed, and Karen Reed bends down, and the smile that was captured on her face as she was hugging that little girl, to me, is priceless, just priceless. And knowing that she felt that feeling at that moment is just so special because she truly has been through so very much. The Marilyn said John was murdered and they all know what happened. I agree, Marilyn. I agree. I agree. I don't understand why is it allowed? Why is it even, why are these people even in court? Because when you sit there, I want you to tell me how they expect anyone to believe for 1 second that they didn't see a reason to go inside the house. They didn't even go inside the house. That's scary. Mm. The Marilyn said Jen had a motive, and yeah, I don't see Jen McCabe doing anything without a motive. Amy Freedom Lover, that Karen turns up and stands out and hugs and shakes hands with everyone. I really one day hope I can meet her. She is, like I said before, she's yeah, the people not coming out of the house just clinches the deal. So let me say, we have absolutely not one single photograph of the tail light prior to the cops touching it. Not one. They can't produce it. There is not one. They can't even cough one up. They couldn't come up with one if they tried. It's way too late for them to even try to backpedal that. And how do you backpedal? How do you backpedal? Because you can't backpedal, because the only place they could have busted that light out and then taken a picture of the time would have been at her dad's house, right? Because that's where she was, at her parents' house. So they can't very well do it there. So that's why they didn't take a picture of it there. And I agree. I've heard that the tow truck driver saw it and it was just cracked. So I don't understand why he wasn't put on the stand. The only thing I can think of, possibly, is that the case went on for so long. And in all honesty, that could have been a 2 to 3 week trial if we didn't have to know what color underwear everybody's wearing, how many times they do number two, do you do number one, do you prefer to wear shorts, do you wear a jacket, do you wear a coat, do you wear a sweater, how cold was it snowing, where did it start snowing, what time did it start sneaking? Okay, that doesn't matter, because the bottom line is that by the time it gets to court, all Lally wants to talk about is how heavy it was snowing at the time that John was found on the lawn. He doesn't want to talk about the fact that it was barely sticking to the ground when Karen Reed left him there. Yeah, not a single picture of John on the lawn. Not a single picture. So every single police officer that was involved, that had their little hands in it, y'all need to be replaced. Y'all need to find another job, because if you don't have sense God gave a jackass and pull a camera out and take photos and try to preserve a scene, and then you want to claim what was snowing, but you live in a damn state of Massachusetts where people have to survive every year when it snows. Do y'all realize how stupid that is? I mean, is that not stupid? I'm sorry, y'all. I get Plymouth has some great standouts. Awesome. Yeah, people not coming out of the house, that's bothered me forever. Plymouth seems to have some great standouts. Awesome, awesome. And let's see, Marilyn said it, Mama, he could not give the police a motive to go into the house. If the door was open, they could have asked, I'll come out. But see, the thing is, if you had nothing to hide, why wouldn't you ask them in the house? Why wouldn't you put on a pot of coffee? Well, when you asked if they need some hot chocolate, why didn't you run that as a, what do you call it, as a, a headquarters for an investigation? Why didn't, because you could have just absolutely claim a certain area and stake it out, because the snow isn't going to make it melt. I mean, dumbass on the committee said how he thought it was ingenious that they used the leaf blower because you didn't want to lose the evidence. You didn't want it to, I believe he used the word melt, didn't he? Melt. You didn't want the blood droplets on top of that snow to melt. Well, he missed a few other things too. The blood droplets were on top of the snow. It just took very light dusting of the leaf blower, and they testified to that, to get to the blood droplets. Karen Reed was gone. The blood droplets they're going to I'm getting hot. They're going to pardon me, they're going to fall on the ground and they're going to freeze right quick. So the problem with the blood droplets melting, I mean, they were pretty preserved in my opinion, till y'all could get out there with the right equipment, the right containers. They weren't going anywhere. Where were they going? They weren't going to just seep into the soil and just keep going. I mean, they're not going to go very far down into that snow either, because if it's freezing and those little blood droplets, they're going to freeze fast. But go outside, put your glass of water and drip it down. I mean, I live in Texas and know that. But I am so very sorry the people in Canton. I am so sorry to know that when it's snowing, your law enforcement are pretty inept. They're they're the biggest idiots you could have. I'm in Texas and can think better than they do. Yeah, not one photo of John on the lawn. You got it, ma'am. You got it. That makes no sense. What is the thing about policing? What is the one thing that we see that they have millions of, and that would be photographs, right? Millions of photographs. I mean, sideways, straight on, this, that. I mean, and they document it with, some way to know why they did it. But I guess their answer to, I can't even call what they did an investigation, their cover up day. Why don't we just say that? When they tried to cover all this up, their excuses don't add up. I mean, whoever can fire the cops should have fired them. Every last one of them that sat on that stand and had an excuse that it was snowing. We could we don't know how to investigate a crime scene when it's snowing. But Proctor, did y'all? I mean, I read his statement, and he just bragged about himself about how all he investigates, right? Wow. So, Amy, the people in Plymouth seem to care. The other towns in Massachusetts can get loud and demand that there get some help in Canton. Love your brother and sister. Help them out. Somebody needs to help them out. It's wrong. It's just wrong. So, if we could just get, if we could just get some help, if we could just get them some help. Yeah, all over the world, people are sitting here. We want to see Karen justice. Karen justice. We do. We want to see Karen Reed given justice and set free with a declaration. I want the declaration that you people tried to frame her, because that's what it is. Everybody needs to be able to say that. The people, the law enforcement people involved in John O'Keefe's murder investigation did not treat it as a murder investigation. They treated it as, how fast can we cover this shit up because something done went wrong. That's what they have, right? I mean, that's what I'm going to say. That's what they have. I don't quite understand it. I really don't. That's just it's just something that I just can't get my brain around. So I know, let me see. I did this yesterday, and this is a very long video, so I couldn't do the whole thing. And my grandbaby, it's a long story, but she had gone to the fair with her other grandma and her dad, and uh, she she'd never been anywhere with them. And she's 3, and she's always lived here. So as soon as she got home, and her mama let me know she was home, I had to get off my live. Every time I try to schedule a live, it's like, oh, life happens. So I had to run off. But um, I'm sure y'all have all seen the Canton Police Audit meeting. I'm sure you have. Hey, anybody in here, can y'all tell me, when is Turtle Boy's next trial? Because I thought it was today. I was looking everywhere trying to figure it out. I thought it was today for some reason. Brian Albert drinking on the job. Let me write that down. They got proof? Well, it won't matter, right? They don't seem to care. They've got some, I mean, hell, his brother Kevin, he just gets drunk in a police car, loses his badge and gun, and gets a 3-month vacation. Paid vacation. I'll write that down. Brian Albert drinking on job. I have to write things down because, and then I forget where I wrote them, which notebook. So I'm trying to get to where I just use the. Oh, so it's next Thursday. All right. So I need to figure out because what we need is we need these outlets. I'll call them out again because they need to go. We need to be able to see what happens in that courtroom when Turtle Boy is in there. I want to see what's going on. That's my right, right? Because I want to see. They're trying to get him for intimidation and the things that he's had to go through. He had to stay in jail. The crap that they've pulled on him and the Canton Nine. See, I wasn't aware of any of this prior to the trial. But what we need is we need massive coverage. Anybody that is an investigative reporter that does any news, you people should all be up front and center. Up front and center. Reporting on what's going on with Aiden. Where are you people? I don't care if you don't like his tactics. I don't care if you don't like some of the words that come out of his mouth. You know, there's a whole lot more to people than their tactics or, if they get a little cocky. Well, I mean, he's got a reason to be a little cocky. Nobody else seems to care. Nobody else is out there digging. This man has dug up all kinds of dirt, and not one main media is picked up on it or covering his court cases. And I want to know why not. Why not? Okay, tomorrow. The doctor on the select board stated that the blood did not need to be put in glass. Oh, I know, I know. Here, this is what I was going to share. Let me. I was. You know what? I kept saying, oh my God, they realize, right? They realize that this is being shown on TV. I mean, this is being broadcast. They realize that, and there's stuff coming out their mouth, y'all. Okay, let me see where y'all be patient because I got to I think I have it at the 50-minute mark and I'm at the 49. Whoa. Did I just take it all the way?
On this, and they just answer it with such a generic answer that we.
Now I do have it on fast if y'all need me to slow it down. Yeah, Mama Jamma, I haven't either. It's so long, so I may. It's just so long. I was going to do it yesterday and didn't. I can't decide if I'm going to do the whole thing, but because I sit here and I just halfway screaming at it. This Thursday, thank you, Candy. What court? Because I was trying to look him up on the court. What court do I research under? It's this. I wish I knew how to. I guess I could send Aiden Kearney some kind of message. And I hope I'm not saying his last name wrong. Maybe I'll just say Aiden or Turtle Boy because I don't always pronounce names right. And if I do pronounce it in error, it's not by any means to be disrespectful. So what I want to do is I didn't even write it down. So we're going to listen for a little bit. If it's too fast, let me know. I was trying to really run through it. So let me know if it's too fast.
We don't even really know what information is really out there. This is why we tried to ask the police. So we got an obstructionist answer.
In your opinion,
do you think this satisfies what the?
in your opinion, you think it's an obstructionist answer?
It-
In
it
your opinion,
obviously
in my
does not.
opinion, I think it's fine.
It obviously does not satisfy what the vendor is looking for,
Well,
and it's going to
in
make
your
it difficult
opinion, again, in
for
your
these
opinion.
people.
Let's just assume
These
everything
vendors.
that we each are saying is our opinion, and you could stop interrupting. David, please.
You're just
I don't
making
want
it
instructions.
near impossible. You're making me repeat things. We had a motion on the table. You withdrew it, and then you asked me to do it again. So it's unfortunate. It's just not how the rules of decorum work. They might work under Robert McCarthy's rules of decorum, but that's not under Robert's rules, which the town is following. The town council already said you didn't follow the rules on the opening of the meeting.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
We have the
In your
email.
interpretation,
I have
and
the
most of your
email from-
interpretations have been wrong, and they continue to be wrong. So you have a motion that you voted on this, both of you? Ayes? Those against?
No.
3-2. Next one.
What limitations on access to the facility or personnel?
Does anybody believe that? Who in the government could watch this and think this is okay? I don't, so this guy Bob, is he Bob McCarty? Bob McCarthy? Tom CPU this morning mentioned it several times for us to watch. To watch the police audit? Is that what, Candy? Tom CPU this morning mentioned it several times for us to watch it. He says he's got something newsworthy. Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, they threw Rita out. I haven't heard from Rita. Has anybody heard from Rita since? Because I'd really love to hear from Rita. But you know what? Rita ain't scared of them people. But what does scare me is the people that are standing tall, standing firm, could literally, in my opinion, be in danger. And the more people that get behind the cause, the less danger the people are going to be in, because it's going to be too many people that the yahoos can't get them all. But let me just go. I don't know who the guy in the suit is, but I love him. He's a hoot.
Will the audit group have both police department, town employees, and select board members, current and former? Is the question. The answer is all access is legally permissible, will be provided if reasonably possible. And we granted unfettered access to the audit. So there should be no limitations, should be the answer. So I move that no limitations be the answer.
You have a second?
Second, yes.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
No.
3-2.
So
Next.
what you all are doing, you're reinventing the scope with these answers.
No.
We provided this in our preamble of the scope, and all three of you are reinventing the wheel by changing.
These answers still refer back to the RFP and the scope of services as written. You understand that, don't you? This will be an addendum that'll go into the RFP that is still there. If you're saying it's in the RFP, that still applies. If it's in the scope of services, it still applies. This is just answering questions that were submitted that will go out as an addendum.
And it's to go on to what the Strim Group.
So once again, let me just say, we have people in office that can step in and have all of this investigated, all of this. Where are you people? Why does this town have to pay for an audit? Because these people sitting here are corrupt and think they're above the law. Why do they think that they're so above the law that they can act like this in public and nothing is done? Who appoints the people to the committee? How do you get appointed to be chair? Court papers from the people who want to do the police audit, they backed out. Court papers? Oh, Marilyn, I'm confused. I'm totally confused. On this, they had court papers. I know that they, well, they keep changing it. The bottom line is, I don't think the town should have to pay for an investigation. There are committees that can be put in place. There are people that can be hired, and the state can pay for this. The town should not have to pay for the investigation, and the town should not have any input from all of the people that are suspect controlling the audit. Are you kidding me? So they get the McAlbert lovers, followers, believers to sit on these committees as chair people. They get another couple that are sure votes for whatever way the chairman wants. And then they let, we're lucky enough that they let two commoners basically on there. Are you kidding me? Come on, Governor Healy, where are you? I don't know. I don't know. Where are you?
Says is that what do we do when there's a case of obstruction? And the way these questions are answered is they provide a way for obstruction.
Well,
and
in your opinion, and I disagree.
You don't even let me talk. It's just not fair to be on a committee with the way you're treating individuals like this, Bob. Like, I can't believe you're in charge of a $250 million debt project.
Is this man qualified?
Like, no, he's not. He's in charge of the largest debt project, $250 million in this town. And
No, I'm not.
these
No,
meetings
no, I'm
probably
not.
happened in secret.
No, I am not. You have a school building committee. You have a school committee. You have the MSBA involved in it. And you have the architect, the OPM, all of those. I'm not in charge. And for you to say that, you don't know what you're talking about,
In your opinion.
In your opinion.
in my opinion.
So can we just stipulate that everybody who speaks tonight in the committee, it is their opinion.
Their opinion. Okay.
It is their opinion. So Bob, you don't have to interrupt us when we're saying something you don't like
That's
to say.
fine.
In your
I'll
opinion.
try
so
to
my
bite my
opinion.
tongue on that from now on. Okay, next one.
I'll let you read this one, Mr. McCarthy.
Why should I read it? I don't want to change it.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
No, not at this time.
We're not allowed to.
No, it's just strictly the committee.
Well, usually at the
Mr.
select
McCarthy,
board,
I move
they let
that-
people speak.
I move that we allow questions and answers on agenda items.
I don't
in
think
this
it's
meeting.
on.
No, no. You have a motion on that?
Yes, I
You have a motion on that?
that we move to allow questions and answers on agenda items.
I second that motion.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's like Maryland. I don't understand receivership, but that's what I mean. I'm going to start saying because that's the only help. And let's see, Mama Jamma, I think independent audit's important. The corruption runs so deep, but you know what? It can't be that the corrupt are the ones that they're pulling the strings on what they can audit and what information can be given to the auditors. Are you kidding me? If you had nothing to hide, you would say, fine, who do you want? What do you want them to look at? No problem. I mean, be an open book. If you've done everything right, you have no fear. This kind of bullshit tells you that they're hiding so much crap. They don't have time to cover it all up. Okay. They don't have time to fix it all. So they want to control what is handed over to the people doing the audit. But yet yes, unfettered access is what's required. It's what's needed. You have to have unfettered access so that you can find all the corruption. Somebody, somebody has got to help them. Somebody's got to, and I don't know how they get put in receivership, but who can do that? Who can just say, all right, it needs to go to receivership? Is it the governor? Who is it? Because whoever it is, we all need to start writing letters. When the entire world is looking at this saying, oh my gosh, this is happening in the United States of America, somebody should be you can tell he's corrupt. That's it. Candy, Aiden's court date. Yes, I want to watch it, but I also want to know, when and where it is. So I am not having to, I'm Googling for it and everything. I'm Googling like crazy and I'm just not finding, I got to get better on my research with the mass courts or something, but we need coverage. We need it to be recorded. We need it to be filmed. We need it to be shown to everybody. It's so important what's happening to Aiden and the Canton Nine. And I say that because they're trying to look into somehow being able to bring charges against them along with the women that recently have been summons to go to court. And I believe it's all because they've basically asked Jennifer McCabe how it feels to help cover up a murder or be part of a murder or be a murderer. All of which are these are just assumptions people make because of the circumstances, because of the proof, because of the evidence. It all goes back. The FBI has already done an audit. Oh, I'm speechless. They've done a full-blown audit on the Canton Police Department and the troopers. Because if they have, then we don't need one, right? But I mean, them bitching about the fact they don't want to have to go over budget and them telling them, you know what, this guy is so stupid. There is enough coverage going on, enough people that support the town. People that love Karen Reed have also gotten involved and love the town of Canton. I don't know Rita Lombardi, but I adore her. I just absolutely adore her. Okay, Candy, I was watching a little bit of Tommy, but then for some reason, well, grandkids are in two separate, three, three separate school districts. Because the bonus granddaughter goes to a school district in, like 20 minutes away. My grandson that lives here goes to the school in our district, and then my granddaughter goes to school in her daddy's district, which is just right up the road. So two both girls had no school today. Well, the bonus granddaughter, her mom is a teacher and she started homeschooling, so she allowed her to stay an extra day because my granddaughter had no school. Grandson had to go to school, but he's home. It's almost 5. So I will watch Tommy from this morning. Will y'all tell me if my rant, I mean, I'm sorry. I have to say something. I can't talk when they're talking, but I mean, this Bob guy, is he Bob McCarthy? Does he have anything to do with McCarthy's bar? Does he have anything to do with McCarthy's bar? Because if he does have anything to do with McCarthy's bar, he could get people in there to lie and say that Karen Reed never bought a drink for anybody else. She just drank them all herself, right? And when he asked, do you trust anybody? My answer is anybody sitting up there, I trust Kathleen and the gentleman in the suit. The other yahoos, not at all. Any of you that are already in the law enforcement or already on the committee, I think Kathleen's on the committee, isn't she, on the select board? Is it Kathleen that's on there? I don't know. But no, I don't trust anything. Okay, let me see. And yes, definitely will watch Tommy, CPU. Okay.
All those opposed?
In the past, we've allowed them to speak at the
Yeah.
end, correct?
At the end, that's
And
correct.
then we will still allow
Yeah,
them to
that's
speak.
correct. So opposed, so 3-2 again.
You voted for them. That's not how you
Nodded
do it.
when
You just
he-
said these guys.
David, he said opposed, and I nodded in the
You just said opposed.
And I
You just recited the vote. You didn't ask us.
Is this
What's
how
the next
you
one?
approved $250 million, Bob?
David,
$250 million?
Slaughter, David,
Are you kidding me?
I nodded when he said opposed.
Do we have? Can we start doing roll call votes?
I thought that's what we were doing.
You voted for everybody, Bob.
What's the next one?
Like this committee has turned into
What's
a
the next
laughing
one,
stock.
Dave?
This whole town is a laughing stock. It's a joke, and this is the way the Canton mafia runs the town, and it has to stop.
Canton Mafia.
The Canton.
What is the Canton Mafia?
What is, who's in
No,
this?
look at
the
it. Look at
Homeowners
it.
Association.
The people who don't care about democracy. This is an authoritarian way to run a meeting, Bob. It's not democracy.
This is not democracy. I
Are
100%
we
agree.
involved in this mafia too? I mean,
I just would like to
You
know.
guys belong to the town club?
I do not.
You belong to the town club?
No.
Yeah. you
I
do.
don't, you know what? You assumed I did.
I
And
did
you
assume
said,
that.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
surprised
you
you're
are
not.
correct.
I don't either.
Mm.
Kathleen.
Have I been in the town club? Yes. I also go to the hockey rink, the football fields.
Next one, Dave, please.
Okay, we're on to a money question. Does it disqualify a bidder if the bidder believes the project will be completed within 5 months? Does it disqualify a
Not
bid
I think it says not, right? I didn't hear the not.
will not be completed in 5 months? Does it disqualify a bid if the bidder is over $200,000? This is a very important one. You just wanted to skate by approving the whole document. So the 5-month period, that was one of those ministerial items that Mr. Scollins added into the contract. That's not something the committee voted on. When you look at our government bylaw modernization committee, they're giving about 16 months to complete the project. This is probably the quickest procurement that the town has ever done. 5 months is what they're looking for a very comprehensive audit. And town council knew this scope. Randy Scollins knew this scope was very comprehensive, and they went in after the fact and injected the shortest time frame in the history of a town's RFP.
We did discuss having
That's not me. Is it?
available.
Mm-mm. That's not me. That's them.
Documentation until after we adjourned our meeting. We didn't have the full document. We just had our scope we voted on. So if you want to learn the details, you should probably go back and watch the tape. But the anticipated milestones, that was added by 2 people with ministerial duties that aren't even supposed to be involved in the project.
I disagree, and you're wrong. But let's
I'd
move
like
on.
to add that when we spoke about giving a report to town meeting, that it wasn't clear in my mind that that would be a final report. I mean, that could be that we wanted a report to
It was because we were afraid how many people would show up. It was a final report that was going to be done originally in March and pushed to April because we were going to be behind schedule. So don't tell me the Scollins and the others made the 5 months. We did here.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
What meeting did we do it at? What meeting did we do it at?
I don't know right now, but I'm not.
Because we didn't.
All righty, we got that's Miss O'Donnell right there, isn't it? She go girl, cause she gonna rip them one. I think sadly, I think Rita was kicked out prior to this. I did stream some last night, but I'm not sure how much. If y'all will excuse me, I'm not going to play this because I want to hear it too. But my coffee has gotten cold, and I would love to have a cup of coffee, heat it up, and I will be right back. I would take a cigarette break, but I wouldn't know what to do with y'all sitting here because y'all be bored to death. I don't dance or entertain or know what kind of music to play. Oh, Lord help me. But you know what? Yeah, I am definitely, I'm just all about this. So if I look an idiot doing it, but I'm gonna be right back. I'm going to just heat up my coffee. I won't run for a cigarette because I don't think that would be, I don't know what to do with y'all. So I'll be right back. Okay. Just right back. Okay, sorry, I was gone. Hope it was fast. Let's see. Um, they came in over 2 years ago. That's why they fell into all the other cases. Oh, we're talking about the FBI. And it is Bob McCarthy, but the bar has nothing to do with him. The bar was named after a friend of mine who died at a young age. His cousin named it after him. Aw, aw. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I just had I had to get my coffee hot. All right, ready? Because y'all have to excuse me. Maybe I could just put like a flying bird. If I could figure out how to put a flying bird on the screen, because that, when I was growing up, the F bomb was the word that no one uttered, and certainly not a female. We certainly didn't throw up the middle finger, okay? That gets you beat every which way but Sunday right there. But I want to sit here with my bird every 5 seconds at this man. I want to throw darts at him. He is disgusting. And is he on who appoints these people? The town select board, I guess, appoints the committees, and apparently they pick their own chairperson and a couple of good folks to follow the chairperson, and then they put a couple of people on the side they know they wouldn't help. I don't know how they do it. I think Governor Healy needs to get a rear end down here in Canton and do something. You need to put this town in receivership. You need to get the ball rolling. This is ridiculous. And what's going to happen? Some good people are going to end up getting hurt because look at Bob in the blue shirt. This is how the townies, the select few that think that they're above the law, this is their attitude. This is their behavior. This is how they act. This is how they think. And anybody that goes against that, it's not safe. This and all he's got to do is go cry to the other cronies. But yet he thinks his behavior on film, on camera for the world to see, he thinks this is a good look, I guess. Come on, folks, let's do better. You can do better.
Do it.
What's the next one you want to go over?
We haven't even finished discussing it.
Yeah,
The next part of it's the $200,000. And what if it goes over? Just like every other project you procured that you said went under budget, Bob, has gone over. It's going to go over. The way you added in a financial audit into this, where it was supposed to be policies and procedures, you purposely did that to make it go over so you could sit here and say, well, the petitioners didn't have enough money. They researched this.
No.
So
No.
if it goes over, what are we going to do? We have to have options as a town, as a committee. We don't want to just deny vendors the option. We're going to end up with bid protests as a result of this.
It says,
Town could face lawsuits the way you're conducting a meeting, Bob.
I don't think so. What it says is any proposal must meet the specifications of the RP. What is it you want to change it to? You keep getting off the subject. You talk about it. What is it you want it to say?
Well, we eliminate it to 5 months, and we're saying we're just putting broad language. All proposals must be the specifics of the RFP. I just want the public to be aware of what happened in this case. I know you're not going to change it. I know you folks aren't going to change it. So I just want to let the public know that Randy Scollins and town council put a very short time frame in on this on purpose. They knew it was a pretty elaborate scope. They didn't see it was something very small. They put a time frame in that was unattainable. So I know you're going to vote no, so I'm not even going to push a motion on it. I just want to let
One question, please.
the public know.
One question. At the time of the voting for this audit, at the extra town meeting, wasn't it stated that the cost would be 200,000?
No,
That's correct.
it was
That's
a
correct.
start.
I can provide
So people
detail on
voted
that.
at the time expecting that their dollars would be
People
going
in your
towards this up to
town.
$200,000.
That's correct.
Okay, so the part of the reason I'm sure that people voted yes and others voted no was based on the cost of the audit. And so that part, I have a little trouble saying it should be changed. I do appreciate your position on the time frame, and I wonder if there's a way of at least bringing this one back to the town to say, and quite frankly, I don't care if it goes longer, so long as they do a good job.
Correct.
But the amount of money stated to the town and the citizens, the taxpayers of the town, was $200,000.
The finance committee's already said they would.
Right.
They would consider more money if the bid was over.
It's-
And we discussed that in this meeting, and Bob sat right.
Excuse
there.
me, we're only talking up here, please.
So if I can add some perspective on that, the finance committee said in November, and the finance committee said again in a January meeting that there would be ways of supplementing this if it turns out that 200,000 was not enough. So that was said multiple times, that there might be
So the
ways to add.
proposal would
and
be
the-
changing it to sending it back to the finance committee for any overage.
In
Would that
fact, we've
be?
already had at least one company respond to the RFP. How do we weigh that in conjunction to making changes in the RFP?
I'll also add that it wouldn't be the first time that things go over budget. We have numerous examples in Canton's history.
I'm fairly certain, in fact, I'm really certain, if you make changes like that, the entire IRP will be thrown out. It's illegal. So you have to withdraw the entire thing. If that's what you want to do.
I just wanted
He's
to make
just
the public aware of the
It's
time
just
frame
an
that was
ask.
imposed. In regards to the $200,000 funding, there's options the town has. They could add a warrant to the special town meeting coming up within the next month or two. They could, depending on the overage, request finance committee reserve fund contingencies. They could request mitigation funds, such as other committees have done for other RFP proposals in town. There is methods the town could have if it does go over $200,000. So I just want to make the public aware. I know you people won't probably vote for it, but there is options to the town.
I'm fine to say that it goes to the finance committee for any overage.
If we were to
Approval.
change the RP right now and change the time and the money, the entire RP will be null and void. It has to be withdrawn and reissued.
Again, Mr. Chair, I'm just stating the responses for the public because the public is unaware of this. This has all been happening via email, which the public has no idea about.
Please sit down.
I don't know about the comments, and
No, not right now. We're in the middle of discussion with the committee up here. Please sit down. You will not be recognized.
I'll also add that when people brought forth this petition, they were focused on adherence to policies and procedures. That was the part that was missing. We have fabulous policies and procedures. We wanted to talk about, we wanted an independent audit that would look at compliance of policies and procedures, because it seemed to many of the taxpayers in town that that is sometimes where we fall flat with red Solo cups. There's no policy and procedure in the world. It says bring a leaf blower to a murder scene. So what happened? So
Okay, everybody, hold your hats. If you got teeth, glue them in. If you're standing up, sit down, because the most insane statements fixing to come out of this guy's mouth. And is he a doctor? Or he researched, or I don't know. But here it comes, y'all. Y'all get ready. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
people watching at home or for the audience, is that many things got added in. So it's now like a full financial audit, which, things got added beyond the compliance aspect.
Kathy, what is it about the snow blower and the solo
Excuse
cup?
me, sir, my name is not Kathy.
Ms. Holly,
It's Kathleen.
Ms. Holly, the solo cup and the snow blower, what is it about that? It keeps coming up at these meetings.
It made us a national laughingstock.
How?
Because, then if I have to explain that, then let's just move on.
No, please do, because quite frankly, you could also be looked as ingenious to collect evidence that was ready to melt
In beer
away.
cups. The blood of a fallen police officer collected in beer cups.
How is that a problem?
Because they're not sterile, because they don't have a top, because they were put in a used
Why
stop
does
and
it have to
shop.
be
I'm not,
sterile?
excuse me, sir, I'm still speaking.
Okay.
Excuse me if I speak while you're interrupting me. They were
I
put in
love
a used
that.
stop and shop bag that could have had like a ham juice in it or roast beef juice in it. I don't know why that's not understandable.
Because I'm not sure why it had to be sterile, number one.
You don't know why evidence would have to be collected in sterile containers?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Because you're not getting a culture off of it. You're collecting DNA. And if it is roast beef, they'll tell the difference between a cow and a goat.
Okay.
They had a tough time doing a human hair and a dog hair on the back of a vehicle. But back to what we're discussing here, if I may, the fee schedule. So, Mr. Chair, I would like you to
Hey, Alan girl. Yeah, she is on fire. She has got it. And you know what's so sad? Why is it anytime someone wants to speak, because they're not asking that often to speak. Oh, Bob, no, 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 no. Where did he come from? And he doesn't need to sit on a single committee ever again. He is too, bias isn't even the word. He just believes that it's going to be his way or it ain't happening. And he's got no way to compromise a single thing. Someone that does not compromise does not need to be involved in a damn thing when it comes to making any decisions for a situation like this. Yeah, what are they hiding? That's a very good question, Candy. What are they hiding? We know there's a bunch of, and maybe they don't even know all that's hidden. Maybe they just know, and maybe they've got marching orders from the McAlberts. And I can say all this because I'm just speculating, but I'm speculating out loud. And we're all speculating. Why? Because we have a fallen Boston police officer that was murdered, and you people don't care to find out how. You don't care to find out who. And you know that it is not Karen Reed. That's what gets me. There's not one of those people. I want to ask them, what if it was their daughter? What if it was their son? Would they want things done differently? Or would they just want anybody railroaded for the crime? Or would they want the right person sought out and prosecuted to the fullest extent the law allows? Because I tell you what, Mr. Blue Shirt Bob, your family is not safe from being arrested if they break laws. Your buddies and the McAlberts, they may have been stringing it along for a while, but the bottom line is everybody watching this trial that has seen it, that's seen the proof that you do not have, all know something happened in the house after Karen Reed left. And if you're going to try to prosecute Karen Reed because she drove a full-grown man by his request to an after party and allowed him to get out of her car, go up to the house, enter, and attend the party, y'all are all got an issue. She did what he asked. She took him where he wanted to go. And if they were fighting, if she said the last thing that happened was they were fighting, that's probably what they were fighting about. She probably wanted him to go home. The storm was coming, and he wanted to be dropped off at the McAlberts. But who am I?
Explain number 5 of the RFP, payment schedule and fee explanation in regarding the negotiation of the fee, so that the community can understand how the fee negotiation, as described by town council, can work.
If we could come in less than 200,000, we could do that. If we're over 200,000, we can't sign a contract.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry for speaking out of order. I will leave that. But in the previous meeting, you mentioned that the process for the RFP, where you get the proposals, you review all proposals, you narrow them down to your top 3 or whatever. Then once you pick those, or once you finalize somewhere in that process, then you look at the bids. If you limit down to however many you have, and then open the bids and they're all over 200,000, does the whole thing fall apart? I think that's not.
We cannot, please, I'll answer this question.
Yeah.
Staying up here, please.
Why are you allowing questions from
Yeah.
men and not from women?
I immediately shut them down.
Why are men allowed to speak and women are not?
Go, Kathleen.
Because when I stopped, I was immediately told to stop talking.
Yeah.
And that went a completely different way. I'm
Yeah.
just pointing that out.
Same with Randy
I
Scollins.
just want to point that out, okay? I'm just pointing it out as an observation.
Mr. Murphy, after this, please leave.
It's a very good observation.
What was
Could I get the answer first?
what was the question?
So I'm trying to.
So,
I look at it
all
as
right,
all-
I know,
Later.
I will get into that question
Okay,
because,
which ones are important that you think you still want to change? Do you have any that you think?
so back into Mr. Murphy's question, I think you should maybe even stay for this.
No,
He did reference at 2 prior meetings that we were using chapter 149, the designer statute,
No,
which is
no.
used for public buildings. They're on the TV, on public record. You could go back and look at them.
Look at
Where
Bob.
we couldn't go back and look at the price of the second one if we opened the first one. That was completely false information.
That's not what I said.
Gave-
I
That's
hope
not
you
what I
watch
said.
this, Bob.
This
You're an
information-
idiot.
And you told us we had to shortlist it to 3. If we have 30 people that meet our highly advantageous criteria, we don't shortlist them. We have to interview all of them. And we open up all of the prices. We're not just going to open up one price and not go back. And then you didn't give us the right procedures, Bob.
Yes, I did.
It's
You
all on
didn't.
video.
You got the right procedures in November at the FinCon.
Excuse me, sir,
I've
I'm
given
still
them
trying to
number of
speak here.
times since then.
So-
You don't listen.
So I sent this to you in an email. You couldn't even answer it yourself. You
Yeah, I
had to send it to Randy Scollins. Randy Scollins had to interpret what you meant to say and said, yeah, Bob is referencing the designer statute, but that's not at play here. We're referencing chapter 30B. So you don't even know the right procurement rules on this type of procurement. And you advise the committee and the public and potential vendors in the wrong way.
Okay, you're wrong. But let's move
And
on.
it's all
Which
You're
other
wrong.
ones of these
Everyone to
do you
look
still
at.
want to try to change?
Well, I
You say you're not
obviously-
going to make a motion on that one. So which ones are you going to make a motion on? And what are you going to want to change it to?
Okay, so
Well, since this is a public meeting, we can publicly discuss the questions and answers. It may be very educational for people watching who may want to know more about the process. So I applaud.
I'm asking him to see which one is the next one he wants to review
Mhm.
and what he wants to change it to. I don't understand what was wrong with that. But never mind. Go ahead, Dave. Which is the next one? I've lost track. of
and
where you
just
are.
to go on to the next one in regards to the timeline, this vendor, as well as another vendor, came back and said a minimum of 12 months is more realistic. And I just want to show you that where town council and Randy Scollins are putting in 5 months, and multiple vendors are coming back and saying 12 months. We have a problem with the way we procure things in this town. We're not doing it the right way. And we're not allowing vendors enough time. We are in certain procurements, but we're not allowing it in this procurement, which raises a red flag. So
May I have the floor, please?
Go ahead. What is it?
Thank you.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, Lord. How did I do that? Where was I, guys? Oh, no. I don't want to listen to it again.
Added beyond the compliance aspect.
Kathy, what is it about the snow blower and the solo?
Excuse me, sir,
I
my
love
name is
this
not Kathy.
part.
Ms. Holly,
It's Kathleen.
Ms. Holly, we'll just, the solo cup and the snow blower. what is it
Rude
about that? It
ass.
keeps coming up at these meetings.
It made us a national laughingstock.
I could watch this
Then
second
if I have to
time.
explain that, then let's just move on.
No, please do, because quite frankly, you could also be looked as ingenious to collect evidence that was ready to melt
In beer
away.
cups. The blood of a fallen police officer collected in beer cups.
How is that a problem?
Because they're not sterile, because they don't have a top, because they were put in a used
Why
stop
does
and
it have to
shop.
be
I'm not,
sterile?
excuse me, sir, I'm still speaking. Excuse me if I speak while you're interrupting me.
I love
They
that.
were put in a used stop and shop bag that could have had like a ham juice in it or roast beef juice in it. I don't know why that's not understandable.
Because I'm not sure why it had to be sterile, number one.
You don't know why evidence would have to be collected in sterile containers?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Because you're not getting a culture off of it. You're collecting DNA. And
You know, you're also trying to figure out who all's blood it is, because it may not be just John O'Keefe's. You ever thought of that? You ever thought of that? And what does this guy do for a living? And I'm sorry, y'all. I hit the wrong button, but since it started here, I mean, I just can't help it. I think I can figure out where I was, but This part, when I saw it, I was like, do these idiots realize this is on TV? I mean, I say TV, but this is being shown. Anybody in the world can watch this. Bob, you're a disgrace. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you think you are. But if I were you, I would resign and I would step away. Maybe you need to go fishing in Alaska or something. Cool your jets off a little. They have good, what is it, salmon? I don't know what kind of fish. Go to Alaska, do some fishing, cool down a little bit. Give yourself some space. Get away from Canton because you have absolutely no comprehension of right and wrong anymore. I don't know if you were always like that, but that's how you are now. That's my thought. Come on, Governor Healy. Tell me why I'm wrong. Receivership is what this town needs. That's it. That's it. This is what you have deciding the fate of your citizens. This is unreal. But I think they are worried about having something done right at what, a library?
No, if it is roast beef, they'll tell the difference between a cow and a human.
Okay.
They had a tough time doing a human hair and a dog hair in the back of a vehicle. But back to what we're discussing here, if I may. The fee schedule. So, Mr. Chair, I would like you to explain number 5 of the RFP, payment schedule and fee explanation in regarding the negotiation of the fee, so that the community can understand how the fee negotiation,
Oh,
as described by
I'm
town
sorry.
council,
Let's
can
go
work.
further. Here's where I was.
It's going to be too short for the scope. The money's not
No,
going to
wait. He left.
You know, I
Say you're not
obviously-
going to make a motion on that one. So which one's I going to make a motion on? And what are you going to want to change it to?
Okay, so
Well, since this is a public meeting, we can publicly discuss the questions and answers. And it may be very educational for people watching who may want to know more about the process. So I applaud.
I'm asking him to see which one is the next one he wants to review
Mhm.
and what he wants to change it to. I don't understand what was wrong with that, but never mind. Go ahead, Dave. Which is the next one? I've lost track.
and just to go on to the next one in regards to the timeline, you know, this vendor, as well as another vendor, came back and said a minimum of 12 months is more realistic. And I just want to show you that where town council and Randy Scollins are putting in 5 months, and multiple vendors are coming back and saying 12 months. We have a problem with the way we procure things in this town. We're not doing it the right way. And we're not allowing vendors enough time. We are in certain procurements, but we're not allowing it in this procurement, which raises a red flag. So
May I have the floor, please?
Go ahead. What is it?
Thank you. So commonly, if you know something's gonna fail,
You're already getting the
gonna get
feedback.
from
The
the
timeframe's
bid?
going to be too short for the scope. The money's not going to cover any good company. So why not just kick it back now, make the changes, then send it back out? Why are we wasting more time to send something out that we know is going to get kicked back? It makes no sense. Makes no sense. The select board also offered their mitigation funds to cover any overages that we needed. It's on film. We can pull for that. Red solo cuts being an issue. We have other police stations publicly mocking us on their media, publicly mocking us. It's an embarrassment and it's not safe. So you making a big issue and challenging him, you're an embarrassment and you're not safe for this town right now either. Conduct this as a meeting that is to conduct business, to get the right turnaround, not the little backdoor turnaround that the select board is really hoping, not run the clock out so Helena Rafferty doesn't have to answer her for her golden parachute. Do it the right way. Stop fighting the comfort, like the crowd and the public, and collaborate. You started to, and then you stopped again. That's why I'm here. I backed off for how long? Because you were collaborating. Tonight, you're off the kilter tonight. It's all over every media station.
Yep.
It's an embarrassment the way that you conducted this meeting, spoke to women and to men, but mostly to the women of our community, and it's across the board. Thank you for your time.
We have one bid that's already.
Wait. No, please speak. You had been asking to speak as well.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that.
My question was really practical about the particular provision that had been out there. So, do you want to go, is it okay to go back to it?
If
Sure.
you want to make a point? Yes.
I mean, my question is when you were debating about the all access that is legally permissible will be provided if reasonably possible right at the bottom of the screen. My question originally was, I'd imagine that will practically maybe cause issues as maybe an auditor is coming in and wants to see something that the police maybe for whatever reason, it might be practical, it might be, something, I don't know, nefarious, I have no idea, but there might be a reason why they don't want this to happen. My question was simply where it says provided if reasonably possible, who's making the determination, what would be reasonably possible? Because I could see based on the debate that's happening today, that some people would think something would be reasonably possible, and other people would think something wouldn't be reasonably possible. So my question was simply, who will determine that? And you maybe could just foresee some of the issues that are going to arise. You could say something like all information, all access that is legally permissible will be provided if reasonably possible, with debates about the reasonable possibility to be determined by, and then provide like who in the moment is going to make that decision. And so it was really just a practical issue.
Just give them unfettered access. Oh my heavens. And see this sign, receivership, please send help. You go, Miss O'Donnell. You go right there. Right there. Come on. come on, Governor Healy, these are the people in your state.
On that particular provision, that I didn't know if it would be helpful to start maybe fleshing some of that out now versus having to, I would imagine, potentially put an auditor in a very difficult position where they don't really now know what to do, and potentially even put police officers in a difficult position.
Hey, let me just say that all of everything popping up for the young jerks, that was back on the 19th. And I think you're all sub to him. So if you're not, please go do so, because you're going to find all kinds of information on this channel. And go back and look at the select board meetings. If you haven't done that, if it wasn't so sad that this is how people in Canton are treated, you could find it comical, because who would in their right mind think this could ever happen in America? So I'm sorry. Let's see what else we got.
And so I thought maybe it'd be practical for the committee to work through that question and collaborate on how that might work in the future.
And
It doesn't look like that's something that's going to be possible given the tone of the meeting, but I was hoping that might have been possible.
and that's a great comment, Mr. Chair. One of our vendors they didn't really submit questions. They submitted feedback and elected not to move forward with submitting a bid based on a number of reasons. But one of the items they outlined is the access to records and establishing a mechanism for compliance. And what they ultimately went on to say is we need an oversight committee when critical documents, data, and information is obstructed or delayed. And we obviously know that's probably going to happen just based on the way the committee has developed. So there's going to be an oversight committee will have to be established to help enforce this. Who knows? There could be lawsuits to block it.
The language of the discussion, if instead of kind of this combative thing, if we say, okay, we all anticipate that there are going to be these challenges. So how, when those happen, can we help the people that are in those positions? How can we help them problem solve in those moments? So maybe the tone of the meeting can shift from, because what I'm seeing, again, just a very peaceful observation, is that maybe this is just useless if every time it's going to kind of be predetermined where everyone is on the question. But maybe a more useful thing would be if we talk about, if this is going to go forward in some capacity, which I think it is, for whatever amount of money, and I understand, I don't know the law, but I assume that you're correct on, it could be possible that this can't change now, maybe it's set in stone, because the finance committee can change it, I don't know, but let's assume it goes forward. Can we get, I mean, who else can problem solve but you? And so I guess I'm at a loss, if you all can't do it, then who's gonna do it? And so now we're putting our police officers in, or I don't know, maybe people that work at the police station, I don't even know who we're putting in the kind of line of fire here to have to make those decisions. It feels like maybe we could help them, because it sounds like there will be an audit in some capacity, right?
And that's a great point you make. So this other consultant does go on to recommend an independent process for reporting criminal activity. And they recommended appointing a special prosecutor with full investigative and prosecutorial authority based on the federal prosecutor model.
You know, David, I don't even think that's legally possible. I think the only person that can either hire or appoint a special prosecutor is the Attorney General of the Commonwealth or any district attorney of the Commonwealth. I don't think any private entity, any municipality, any police department can hire a special prosecutor. I don't think that's legal.
Well, the question comes down to, if I could, are we going to continue editing these, or do you want to go to the point where we withdraw the entire RFP at this point?
It's not over, but.
I don't want to really go through this process again at the moment. We're 10 days away from final bids. Let's wait and see what happens. We don't know what's going to come in. We don't know what's in the envelopes. We know we have one bid that came in. Bob told me yesterday at the middle school meeting that we weren't going to use that bid because the vendor.
No, I did not say that, David.
Sir, I'm still trying to talk, because they sent the pricing in with the proposal. They immediately emailed Bob, said, "We're sorry we did this. Don't open the letter. We're going to send a new letter." And I was trying to work with Bob through email today on how do I get that letter, return the letter back to that vendor, so we couldn't violate the procurement in case that's a really good qualified bidder. And Bob was refusing to even help get this letter back. He wanted the vendor to send the FedEx pickup driver. I advised him, just put refused on the envelope, send it back, get rid of it, identify the tracking number, shred it or do something. Ask the vendor to send a return label and just get that one that's incorrect back. And we didn't get a response from him. He just wanted the vendor to send the FedEx truck to do a pickup like you would on a large purchase on like a washer or dryer that you bought online. When the FedEx driver is coming to this location every day, we could have easily wrote refused on it and handed it to him, and it would have been problem solved.
What you just said is absolutely wrong. I did not say last night that I was going to refuse them and throw them out. What I said was, I got another email from them stating that they were sending the new one with 2 price proposals. I did say, send me the information so we can send this back. In between that time, I had a number of emails, plus I'm working, and you think I'm going to answer to you in between all of this to keep you informed. Well, I'm not. In between that time, I did have them send a return envelope. The envelope has been affixed to it, and it has been returned as of this afternoon.
And
So
that
we
points out
should have
another
the new
problem.
one in, probably, if it's not in today, by tomorrow. So that's already been done, but not the way you're saying it. You misquoted me. Exactly what I said last night, and that's not what I said.
So
And I'm taking a little umbrage at your memory because it's failing badly. I did not say that.
That's not true, sir. So you just provided an update, which you obviously said you didn't do because you were so busy. You made it a point to hire a secretary to do some of these duties. We're not even getting the emails that are going into the audit email address. They're just going to you, and I don't know if they're going to anyone else, but we're getting a small portion of them. I know
Any
some
email that
emails
goes-
that are not being forwarded, Bob.
Any
I don't-
email that goes to
Aware
the
of emails that you're not forwarding
email
to the committee.
is automatically sent out to all four of you
That's
on
not
every
true.
one that I've got. Every single
That's
one.
not, and you just said you're
No.
too busy to even do it.
No, I
You
said
just
on
said
that
that.
particular one because that
You said
you know
you're too
you
busy
make
to
it up
do
as you go.
I'm just going off of your own words, Bob.
I'm done trying to argue with you.
May we continue, please?
Yes. You say today. What else do you want to change on these before we? You say you don't want to withdraw the RP. You want to continue.
I never moved to withdraw the offer.
don't-
Do we have a motion?
No,
on
we
the
don't have a
table?
motion.
I don't.
That was a suggestion. I didn't know if that's something that you wanted to do. And you said, no, it's coming in on the 30th. Let's proceed. Is that, Kathleen, is that still your position?
Is there a motion about this?
No,
No,
it was
no,
not.
it's-
Then let's
It
move
was
on.
just a statement.
Okay.
I missed all that. Is there a motion about this? Okay, well, let's move on. I mean, come on, Kathleen. You know, how they decide who can and can't speak, when they can and can't speak. Sit down. If he would have barked at me to sit down, y'all have had to hold me back. I swear. You know, everybody's got that little thing that you're just not going to take anymore. And I feel that with him sitting this far away from where y'all are. So, and I apologize. That was my aunt calling, and I had to take it because gotta make sure everything's okay. So let me see. I think yeah, 106 to 112. So that's as far as I had gotten as far as to me. Now y'all can let me know, and I can look for more for later, but I think this is as far as I'm going to go on this video for right now, because this right here, I know that they're probably not going to sit and watch a 2-hour video. Good Lord, I didn't mean to speak for 2 hours. I'm a big mouth, aren't I, when I can sit and talk for 2 hours? But I'm hoping that someone that can make a difference will also get involved. At some point, they've got to get involved. I mean, they just have to. So I don't know if we need to say it again or what, but once again, let's see, where's my list? Because I got a list, because heaven knows I'll forget. Oh, yeah. When he told Rita she was reprimanded, I was like, good Lord Almighty. Good. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Jill Daniels and that guy that smells like cigarettes and drives a crappy ass car and delivers pizza for a living, and he looks like he's about 80, but he's probably only in his 60s. Maybe he's even younger. I don't know. Looks like a real slob. I'd want staying away from me, but he delivers pizzas for Chris Albert at D&E Pizza. I mean, could you imagine your food sitting in a car with him? Anyway, between him and Jill Daniels assaulting Turtle Boy, where is that at? Where is the investigation about the chemicals, the dangerous chemicals put on Miss O'Donnell, Rita's yard, and there was one other lady? Where's that investigation at? Where are those investigations? What would have happened if a child would have gotten a hold of the bag that had this stuff in it? They don't seem to care. So we're going to try this again. Attorney General Andrea Campbell, you have a town, Canton, in crisis. U.S. Attorney for Mass, Rachel Rollins, you have a town in crises. Let me just state that I don't believe anybody in the internal affairs of the state police would have any business doing investigations, because so far the only thing I've seen from the troopers is they're corrupt. That they have no integrity. Um, they lie trying to get out of trouble. So there you go with that. We have Governor Healy. We have Governor Healy who could step right in and take control. We have Senator Walter Timilty, and we have Representative William Galvin. Come on, folks. Come on. Come on. Do your job. You're in the United States of America, and all this is happening in your town, in your state, and you don't care. So, Boston Globe Spotlight Team, investigative journalism team from the Boston Globe. Come on, folks. Where are you? Because this is going to be huge when it's all come out. But where are you? You're not here, are you? Let's get it. Let's get it. WCVB, Channel 5, NBC Boston, Fox Boston. Come on. And somebody go and make sure that you're recording Turtle Boy in court. I think it's tomorrow or the next day. So I sound a little funny right there. So once I get concrete, I'll be coming back, because y'all need to put this out for everybody. Everybody has a right to see, because this could happen to anyone in the United States of America, anyone. And who wouldn't be screaming out to help these people? Who wouldn't be screaming out? These are citizens of the United States of America, and they're not protected. You know, Inspector General, come on, people. Ethics commissions, come on, come on. Ethics commission. I mean, even you aren't involved. I mean, can anybody else think of anybody else? Y'all have any idea of who else we need to shout out to and say, get your, come on, help us? Oh, I've got a squirrel on my screen. Check this out. Check out this squirrel on my screen. How do I do that? Oh, let me see. No. No. Hold on. How do I show my squirrel on my screen? Oh, it doesn't give me an option. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Oop, there it is. Check it out. Well, I don't guess it's going to do it. Okay. I was trying. Your browser has blocked your screen. Okay. All right. Well, y'all see, I just get really, I have a cute little squirrel with these long little nails eating a acorn. And he's so cute. He's on my screen. So that's all I got for right now, folks. That has been the burning ember in my backside for a bit. And I'm going to do some more videos regarding, I believe I'm on the emails of Karen Reed, because I had done the arrest, I was up to February of 2022, which just started. And so I'm going to finish up the emails to Tully from all the people doing the investigation. And I had already done some, so I've got some more to go. But I don't know. I don't know. Who can help? I'm outraged. We're all outraged. It's horrible. Somebody somewhere needs to get involved. Somebody somewhere needs to step up, get these people in receivership, and start cleaning town. And I seriously mean it. Start cleaning town. And those that deserve to have charges against them for whatever reason, start busting them. Because this is wrong. This is wrong. Your citizens being taken to court because they had the audacity to rally against people that we all think know exactly what happened to John O'Keefe. Because we do know Karen Reed drove him to 34 Fairview. We do know that he died. We do know that he went inside because he didn't live with Karen Reed. So she would not have sat out there in her vehicle if he was so drunk and just falling all over and walking and stumbling and lost his way to the front door. If that, I mean, that's about the only other thing you could say. But then you've got all the injuries on him. So, and please, please don't forget, per testimony, the minute that his head received that blow, he was incapacitated. At that point in time became so important. It needed, I mean, the clock was, it was tick, tick, tick. No, it was tick, 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 tick. It was like, get him to the hospital. You had an opportunity to save John O'Keefe. If how you hit him, you didn't mean for them to hit him, then you should have taken him to the hospital. And you could have provided quality CPR care, unless you haven't been certified for that, which case wouldn't surprise me since you don't know how to secure a crime scene in the snow in Massachusetts. That's almost saying like when it's too hot in Texas, the Rangers can't work. They can't think because it's too hot. Because what's Texas? It's hot. Maybe that would compare, right? So one day we're going to listen to a Texas Ranger say the reason he didn't do something is because he didn't know how to do that in the heat. That's about as much sense as those dumbasses sitting on the stand saying it was whiteout conditions. It was whiteout conditions when he was found. It was not whiteout conditions when he was left. So there you go. All the people that left that house, somebody would have seen a body in the front yard. No photos of the crime scene. No people coming out of the house. Jennifer McCabe walking in the house with no concern. I mean, I would have thought that when the police pulled up, Jennifer McCabe should have been about hysterical. I think I would have been hysterical. I'd have been like, oh my God. He was at the party I was at last night. And if he's out here dead in the snow, what about my family inside that house? Let's make sure they're safe, right? Right? The lack of concern for the safety of the people in the house. It's not even saying they were suspect at the time. That, they weren't suspects right then, right? But they were in the house and nobody seemed to care if they were safe or not. Why is that? Why did the call come at 6:26 in the morning asking what the address, what was going on Fairview? Because Lieutenant wanted to know, and they said it was at 32 Fairview, and the response on the phone was, oh, good, not even at his house then. Good deal. I'm on my way. Not even at his house? So they all had to know who he was talking about, right? Seems like everybody seems to know who King Albert may be. Anyway, I'm going to leave y'all with that. I don't quite know how to end. I don't quite know how to get music on here. But eventually, y'all, I'm going to build it right on up to where I look like I know what I'm doing. I absolutely love chatting with you guys, Dirt in My Eye. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. They asked for bids and then added financial to it and started taking away. They wanted to be able to pick and choose what was given to them. They didn't want them to have unfettered access. What kind of investigation is that? I mean, how good is that going to pan out to be? Not very good. Not very good. So I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to go watch Tommy CPU from this morning and see what he has to say. I'm going to see if I can find anything on Turtle Boy. I think I'm going to end up having to subscribe to his Turtle Boy news because I like seeing all of his information. I like sharing it. I've done a few videos on Turtle Boy's I guess you'd say on his back, because he's uncovered stuff and I'm like out there doing it. So, but I can't stand the pop-ups, y'all. He's got too many pop-ups on that page. I can't do the pop-ups. I can barely do pop-ups on anything else. No, I can't handle pop-ups. I know why he's got them, but I just can't do it. So I'm going to say for now, I'll see y'all later. No telling when I'll come on again. I don't know how to help or fix that. You're not getting any notifications when I go live. I have no idea. I have no idea. So I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to heat my coffee up. Thank y'all so much for listening to me, because I sat here for 2 hours, no cigarette. That's pretty good for Nana. Nana's got to quit smoking. So they say, yeah. I have just recently, I was sick for about 2 years. Every time I turned around, I kept getting sick. Then I got to where I couldn't breathe. And then finally, my husband got me to a pulmonologist. It takes an act of Congress to take me to the doctor just about. But as horrible as it may sound, I feel immensely better since finding out that I'm not sick. I'm not contagious. I don't have to stay away from newborn babies when they're born. Like I missed out on snuggles with some newborn babies in the last couple of years because I was afraid that whatever I had just kept coming back and I was going to make them baby sick too, or anybody. I had a friend that passed from cancer and I stayed away from her because she was going to chemo and I didn't want to make her sick. And instead, somebody that's been smoking for over 50 years, excuse me, that has COPD, honestly, eventually get to where you can't breathe. And yeah, so I have medicine and medicine helps. And, there's no cure, but yeah, I'm sure I did get it from smoking. I started smoking back when it was a thing. Long story as to why, but kind of helped me through all my abuse in life, and it's the one thing I've never been able to shake. Now, have I worked hard enough? I don't know, but I'm going to try. I'm really going to try. Anybody that prays, pray that I had an easy time doing it, because it's pretty soon it's going to be the day to put it down. Now that I've said all that, I'm going to go have one. So I thank y'all for spending time with me, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.